Watching porn with your partner, healthy or unhealthy? The answer may surprise you. I don't know. Where are you at on this? Let's first of all talk about how it can be healthy, and then we'll talk about how it can be unhealthy. And then I'll tell you my own personal experience with it, and mine was unhealthy. And I have a friend who was very healthy in what they did. So I'll give you that example. First of all, how can it possibly be healthy? Porn is bad. That's the kind of common thing that I grew up with. You may have grown up differently, but I hear that sort of narrative all the time. And I'm not really including it in any relationship stuff that I do or ever have successfully. But the way it becomes unhealthy is, one, porn, the nature of it, like many things, gaming, drugs, alcohol, work, whatever. Humans are addictive. We are addictive to all kinds of things that allow us to escape our own reality. If you're using porn as a way to get off and get away from the person that you want to connect with, the person that you want to be in a relationship with, if it's pulling you away from them and leading you to avenues that are going to disconnect you from them, well, that's unhealthy. If you are addicted and the place where you can get into sex or whatever is only in porn, that's unhealthy. That's a problem. You have impacted your own life by making porn kind of the reality of sexual excitement that really is not where you want it to be. If you're with somebody that you love, you want to have a real connection with that person. So when it begins to interrupt that connection, when you begin to find that it's something that you're looking to over the person that you're with, I would call that unhealthy. If you're finding that this is something that is consuming your time beyond what you want, it is unhealthy. If there's any sort of aspect where you're losing control or you're craving it and you can't be aroused without it, it is unhealthy. These are problems that can arise. It's not just with porn, it's with everything, right? Anything that we do that we love, we can get unhealthy with it when it begins to consume us to the point where that's all that matters. The point of this is, I'm in a relationship, I want to be healthy and have a good sexual, exciting experience with this person, look at all that's out there, and if the obsession becomes porn, that's an obsession. That is a space that doesn't allow for real exploration because you're controlled by your drive to find this one thing that gives you that escape. And honestly, the unhealthy thing is really about an escape from your reality. So when you're losing a connection, if it causes you to disconnect, this is really the key for me. If something I am doing, whether it be porn, sports, work, gaming, I don't care, whatever. If it is causing me to lose connection with the person that I'm striving to be with, I call that unhealthy. Addictions, they say the opposite of addiction is connection. We as humans crave connection. We are pack animals. We need it. And yet our lives, such as they are, full of stumbles and mishaps, they create disconnections. We learn through our experience that some things that we can do could cause us harm or cause us shame, and so we disconnect in certain ways, and that can lead us to addiction. So find those things that are causing you to disconnect, to escape, to step away and not be close to that person, and you'll find some places that are unhealthy for you that you need to fix. And they may not be addictive yet. They may be just natural things you're doing without really thinking, and you can stop it easy. But if it has evolved into an addiction where it's interrupting your ability to work, it's interrupting your ability to connect with another person, and you're going to that place and doing it when you really wish you didn't, and you wish you had better control, that's all unhealthy. So I don't know if I can make it more unhealthy for you, but that's what unhealthy porn looks like when it is a wedge between the connection that you want to have, not something that brings you together. So how can it be healthy? Does it connect you? Is this something that draws you toward the person? A simple way, if you break it down and move it away from porn, think about it like if you're watching a rom-com with your significant other, and there's a romantic scene, and it makes you think of them and how much you like to be close to them, and then next thing you know, you're making out with that person and you're having a good time and you're really enjoying them, and you're not even thinking about the movie, you were involved in them. If you're using porn in a way to enhance your excitement for each other, and you're getting into each other, and this is something that's drawing you together, and when you're done, you both feel like invigorated and like, man, this was good, I would say that that's a healthy use. That's something, it's like a sex toy or whatever, right? It's something that's enhancing your experience to allow you to feel a connection with this person. When you begin to get involved in things that draw you together, that make you feel connected, that allow you to see each other in different ways that bring excitement, that's healthy. We do that in all kinds of ways in our relationship. We try new foods, we go out and have new experiences. This can be just another experience. And if that's what it is, and you don't struggle with moral issues that come from your belief and upbringing that are going to cause you to feel shame, feel horrible about yourself, believe that you are involved in something that is harming others, then you can consider this. But you got to be considerate of, where you're going to get this stuff, what you're looking at, all of that stuff. There's a whole industry of porn that can be considered really, really harmful to the people that are involved in it because there's so many unhealthy aspects to it. So if that becomes a bother for you and you're looking for that, all of this is something to consider with your spouse or your significant other or whoever it is that you're wanting to do this. To make it a healthy thing, you've got to consider all the nuances of how you feel. This is a polarizing topic for us in North America. We come from a puritanical background that has, from Victorian England, the people that came over and settled here, they had real strict concepts of what sexuality was and wasn't, and what you could and couldn't do. And a lot of it was, in my mind, very draconian and crazy. However, because that's the place we come from, you have to honor what you truly feel in your heart. You can feel that way and be totally healthy, and it's fine. But if you're feeling that way out of shame because of something that's happened to you, and you're unwilling to look at anything just because you're caught in shame versus, this is my belief, this is what I feel, then you're in a kind of a situation where you got to sort that out. That's an issue that maybe you don't want to address. Maybe it's too difficult to get through. So that kind of consideration, we can get excited about these things, we can start to push on them, but you don't want your desire to explore into something or try something with the person that you're with to become the major goal beyond this connection to them. So as long as the connection remains the center of where you're at and how you're doing, and when you evaluate what you've done, if that has drawn you closer, I think that's healthy. I think that's a good thing. I think you can use it in that way. It makes you better, and I know people that have done it. My personal story was different. I was in a relationship with someone that I didn't feel like I had much of a voice to explain my desires, what I wanted, how to do things. I also had a lot of baggage from my child abuse that I carried, a lot of real strict ideas about who I was and how I was because I had looked at porn as a little boy after my abuse, and it became kind of a haven for me. I found that I really liked to escape into porn. It seemed like a place that I could slip away from all my troubles. And in my relationship with my spouse, she was adamantly opposed to porn. It was a religious thing, and I understood it because I came from the same background. And yet I was hiding it. I was hiding it, number one, so I'm lying. Number two, I personally felt bad about it. Number three, my compulsion became something that would drive me to do it even though I didn't want to do it. That's the sign of an addiction. I was using it to escape, to disconnect, to avoid the world that I felt was crushing on me. And in that space, there was nothing about it that drew me toward my relationship. It all pulled me away from everything. I disconnected from everybody. It was a problem. It was something that, was painful for my spouse to discover whenever she found out. She was very hurt by it. And I would feel shameful and bad. And there was never a discussion about us, talking about it. We keep it in the dark corner. We stay away from it. And any attempt to play with it in that mindset with me and who I was not going to bring us together. It was not something that I could use. I don't believe it's something I can use successfully. At least I haven't found a way to make it work for me. But I do know that people that are different from me, the way they've been raised, the mindsets, how they view porn, they don't have the stigma that it's associated with it. It's just another expression of sexuality. To them, it's the same as including a vibrator, which for some people is an issue too. For me, not an issue. But including toys or things like that, if that's where your headspace is at, if that's how you approach it, you don't have to deal with all those psychic problems that can cause you then to disconnect, fall into shame, feel unworthy. That is healthy. And I had a friend who, they were kind of in a slump and they enjoyed each other. They liked each other. They didn't know what to do. And they were telling me about it. And they said, yeah, we just kind of would turn some porn on. And next thing we knew, we'd be having fun and we're into each other and we weren't even watching. And my friend also didn't have an issue feeling compulsively driven to watch in secret and hide or anything like that. This is all on the up and up. Everybody's involved. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody is willingly participating. That's healthy. They enjoyed it. It sparked up their life and they're still together going strong. And I don't know if they continue to use it or not, but there was a moment they did. And it's not something that, has become a problem for them. So you have to be really, really intuitive if you decide to go down this route, because it is a polarizing topic because of the nature and the history of the development of the psyche of this country. This is a hot topic. You go to Europe, it's not such a big deal. People don't really care about it as much, and so there's not as much shame and turmoil around it. However, we face that kind of stuff all the time, so you're the only one that can figure that out. But if you took a look at it, if you really get down to the nitty-gritty on this, the real issue is, does this help me connect or this help me to disconnect? That's the real parameter, the playing field that I would lay in. If it's connecting you, not making you horny, connecting you on an emotional level where you're like, man, I'm with this person. This is so much enhanced and better. That's the type of connect I'm talking about. Or if it's making you disconnect, maybe you're horny, but when you're having sex with the person that you're supposed to love, your head's elsewhere and you're thinking other things and it's a fantasy that you can't actually be a part of, but you're using this person as a vessel for that. I would say that's a disconnection. That's not healthy for a relationship. You have to figure that out on your own. And if that's the case, and you got to figure it out, you make the choice. I support you to do what is healthy for you. And I'll do what's healthy for me. I got another video coming up that you might want to watch if this is something you're thinking about, how to feel worthy of love. You want to stay feeling worthy in these processes and connected with the people that you like. If you have had success watching porn in a healthy way, I'd love to hear about it. If you have had a failure like me where you were struggling and you needed to step away and get out of it, I'd like to hear about it. Let me know. I'm James. Like, subscribe, follow. Thanks for joining me.